How to communicate with a narcissist in a feminine way. If you find that you're dealing with a man who has been diagnosed with narcissistic personality disorder, or maybe you have been told by others that he's likely narcissistic, that you have some research that can show that, the things that he's done or said, then there are some certain ways you want to interact with him that you can hopefully change that dynamic, even help him to potentially heal his narcissism, or set boundaries in the right way, so that he is not acting that way with you or shifts his behavior, or that you can exit yourself from the interaction, from the situation, in a healthy feminine way. Now, I want to caveat this by saying that I feel that the term narcissist is thrown around often and probably too much when somebody may in fact not be a narcissist, not be diagnosed as narcissistic personality disorder, but just has traits of disrespect, not caring about your feelings, which can also be caused by how you have been communicating with him up until this point. Now, here's the thing, is you might think that a man was dismissing your emotions because he's narcissistic, he doesn't care about your feelings, and he would gaslight you, or he would just diminish your feelings and not care. When in fact, the reality could be, I'm not saying this is the reality, but the reality could be that how you were communicating your emotions were actually making him feel disrespected, and that you were actually penetrating him energetically with your emotions and taking the masculine role. And his reaction was actually a natural masculine response to those ways that you were communicating. I'm not saying that's the case. It could be the case. We're going to unpack that here in this video a bit more, because what we want to do is make sure you're communicating with a man that you're interested in a feminine, respectful, vulnerable way that I'll teach you here. And if he is consistently not responding in a positive way, not taking care for your emotions, not adjusting his behavior that may be hurting you, and you're doing it authentically multiple times, then you're going to have to detach yourself from the situation, and you're going to have to detach yourself potentially from him, and you're going to have to set a boundary with yourself and say, I need to get some space. I need to be by myself. I need to leave. I need to move on. Whatever that might get to, that's what you're going to have to do if that doesn't shift. So here's what we want to make sure that we are practicing to see if a man is a narcissist, and even if he is or isn't, to potentially shift his behavior towards you. What you want to do is communicate in a feminine way by, first off, showing respect through asking permission rather than energetically penetrating a man with your feelings. Now, the last thing I'll say actually before we get into that is there are no ugly feelings. There are no ugly emotions. So you might feel like, oh, I don't want to be too much to a man. I don't want him to show him how needy I am, or how anxious I am, or how desperate I am, quote unquote. Those are all labels for natural emotions, which are probably anxiety, sadness, fear. Neediness could even be an emotion, but it's a little bit, it's not a great label. It's more likely fear or anxiety. So there's no ugly emotions. There are only ugly behaviors. The way you handle the emotions can become damaging and can actually penetrate him energetically and disrespect him and like whack him on the head with the emotions and trying to get him to fix it, rather than communicating them in a feminine and vulnerable way that actually inspires him and can make him want to care for your emotions. So there's a couple key distinctions here. So what you want to do is first off, start off by asking for permission with something like, may I share something with you? And he's going to say, sure, likely. He's going to say yes. What do you want to say, or what do you want to share? If he doesn't say yes to that, that's also a big red flag that he likely doesn't have any care for your emotions. It could definitely be a red flag of a narcissist. So you say, may I share something with you? And also the other caveat is, if you guys have had a toxic relationship up until this point and have had a lot of negativity, he might be cautious to actually hear what you want to say, because he's afraid that he's going to be blamed, criticized, attacked, disrespected, penetrated energetically, and he doesn't want that. Trying to be led. So he's going to be hesitant. But if you do this over time, he'll likely eventually say, sure, yes, what do you want to share? So you're going to say, may I share something with you? Say, sure. Say, I feel sad, or I feel anxious, or I feel fearful. Just the raw emotion. Try to get to the core primary emotion, like fear, desire, anger, love, guilt, sadness, shame, desire. And he's going to say, why do you feel that way? And then you're going to say, because, and you're going to show him what the problem is. Because I feel like whenever we are talking, that you're telling me that my emotions, I'm telling myself a story that my emotions don't matter to you. and he's going to say whatever he says. You have to be detached from the outcome. He may say, well, that's because you're always, complaining all the time, or you're always telling me what to do, or you're always trying to put those emotions onto me, like I did something wrong or something. We don't know how he's going to say, or he's going to say like, I don't want you to feel that way. Like I don't mean to like make you feel that way. I don't want you to feel like I make you feel like your emotions don't matter. So this is also can be a good test on what kind of man he is, what level of care he has towards you, and also if he is potentially a narcissist or not. And he's going to be able to hear your emotions, feel your heart, your feminine, vulnerable heart. If you're sharing the emotion, you're feeling it in your body. You're not trying to get something from him. You're not trying to control him. You're just femininely, vulnerably sharing. And he's going to react however he reacts. And that'll give you some signs as to what kind of man this is, so that you can now understand more. And likely he's going to get that glimpse in your heart, and he's going to actually start feeling you, which he may not have felt before, because before he was just feeling penetrated, or he's feeling attacked or criticized or led. And now he's actually getting to feel your feminine, vulnerable heart, and he's going to say, like, I don't want you to feel anxious. I don't want you to feel sad. I don't want you to feel fear. And I don't want you to think I'm diminishing your emotions. Now, the other thing you can share when you're sharing the problem is you can say, a part of me feels that you may not care about, you don't care about my emotions, or you don't want to hear my emotions, or that you think my emotions are too much. Or you can say, I'm telling myself a story. So this is helping it to seem like you're not attacking him, to make it show that this is truly like what you're telling yourself and what your own opinion is, which may or may not have anything to do with reality. So you're saying, I'm telling myself a story that when I share my emotions, that you don't want to hear them, or that you may think that they're too much and it makes me feel sad or makes me feel anxious, that you don't want me to share my emotions, or that I can't share my emotions with you, and I don't know what to do, or I need help. I don't know what to do. Now he's getting to really glimpse that he understands the problem. He understands your heart. He understands the problem. Now he can make a shift potentially to help you, and want to help fix the problem, and want to help fix the emotions, help you with your emotions, or he doesn't. And what I would say is, if he doesn't respond well right away, that still does not necessarily mean he's a narcissist. It does not necessarily mean he doesn't care about you. There just could be some bad training, some bad history that you both have, where he's not used to this new way of interacting with you. So he may not respond ideally the first time. You have to be detached from that. Be okay. You're just simply sharing from your vulnerable heart. And it's also for your self-value. You're doing this for yourself. You're doing this to speak up and to share, and to believe that you are a worthy woman, that your emotions matter, that a man listening is going to want to care for your emotions, that he should care for your emotions, he should want to care for your emotions, and he should want to care for you, because you are a worthy woman. You do deserve to have that in your life. You do deserve to have a man. So you're also doing this for yourself, and whatever he responds is whatever he responds. You're practicing feminine communication to build your own self-worth. Now, after he responds, you can gauge how he may be and how he may be thinking to you. I would do this several times, probably at least 2 or 3, 4 times potentially, that you're communicating in this way with him, in a feminine way, in a receptive way, where you're presenting your emotions as a gift rather than throwing them onto him. And if he still doesn't respond in a good way, if he still doesn't care, and you share different things and different approaches that are similar to this, then you have to set a boundary with yourself, and you have to be willing to walk away. You can't keep in a relationship where a man authentically doesn't care about your feelings. He doesn't really care about you. He's just using you potentially, or abusing you. And you need to exit from that situation. Whether or not he's a diagnosed narcissist or not, you need to take care of yourself, and you need to be willing to walk away. And that's, again, how you ultimately are doing the most ultimate thing you can do to build your self-worth, is being willing to walk away from a man and from a bad situation. So there's a lot there to unpack, I know. Watch this video again if you're really someone who has struggled with this in the past, and you think your emotions are a burden rather than being a gift to a man, because when you do this, they are presented as a gift. And a masculine man, a man who's connected to his masculine core and who isn't a bad man, which there is a percentage of the population who are bad men who will not care at all about your emotions, because they are authentically narcissistic, they are sociopaths, or they are just emotionally immature, they're not able to care. There's a certain percentage of the population of men that are like that. But if he's like most men, who has a decent level of care and understanding, he's going to want to change, and he's going to want to improve and be a better man for you, and take care of your heart and step up, and he's going to be inspired to moving forward. So hope this was helpful. Much love. We'll likely have some, leave your comments below. We'll likely have some gifts for you available as well. And I'm looking forward to helping you on our future trainings. Talk to you later. Bye-bye.